Welcome to Trinity Holmes Paranormal Investigator. If you're new here, my name is Trinity Holmes. I started this work after my cousin Julia vanished from a college dorm under impossible circumstances. Since then, I've been documenting the places, objects, and people that slip through the cracks of our world. This podcast usually follows full cases, mysteries I investigate over days or weeks. But sometimes I share shorter, more personal episodes. I call them extras. They're fragments, field notes, and letters from people who've stumbled onto something strange. Think of them as a map of the shadows between my main case files. I keep all the letters people send me. Some are short, some spiral on for pages. This one came typed on thin paper, folded 3 times, no return address. Dear Trinity, I work at Original Hospital built in the 1970s. For months, I've been using a back stairwell to avoid the main elevator. It's quieter, usually empty, and supposedly connects all the floors. 2 weeks ago, I noticed something wrong. The flight from 3 to 4 felt longer, much longer than it should. The echo changed too. When I came out on what I thought was the 4th floor, there was no signage, no windows, and the walls were painted a strange, muted green I've never seen anywhere else in the building. The hallway curved and then suddenly stopped. No doors, no exit, just a dead-end wall with the peeling safety sign. I turned back immediately. The stairs behind me didn't look the same either. The light fixtures were gone, replaced by old sconces. Since then, every time I go near the stairwell, I get dizzy, like the floor is tilting. What's happening? Lost between floors. I read that letter 3 times, not because it was hard to understand, but because I knew the shape of it. Places can thin the way ice does. Hospitals, universities, theaters, anywhere with repeated routines, intense emotions, and layered renovations. All of them can develop what I call structural echoes. Over time, architecture remembers the footsteps that cross it. Stairwells, especially hidden or underused ones, are notorious for this. They're vertical corridors, intended to bypass the main flow of people, and that makes them ripe for the kind of distortion you're describing. Think of reality as fabric. Every time someone walks a path, they press the fabric thinner. Add decades of renovations, sealed doors, half-finished expansions, forgotten storage levels, and the blueprint of a building starts to overlap itself. Eventually, a corridor can act like a folded page, showing you a part of the map that shouldn't exist. Expanding on non-Euclidean stairwells. I've had letters like yours before. An office worker in Chicago who swore a stairwell between the 12th and 13th floors opened onto a floor full of empty desks. A maintenance man in Halifax who followed a service stairwell down to the basement that came out in a hall lined with gas lamps and coal chutes. None of these places existed on the blueprints. Some of these anomalies last minutes, some decades. They're like bubbles trapped in concrete, pockets of space that haven't caught up to the present. If you step into one, you're not in another dimension exactly. More like a blueprint world, a scaffolding of what the building was or meant to be. And if you linger, it tries to finish you, to file you in like part of its design. Warning signs of a folded stairwell. You already noticed the first sign. The echo changed. Sound travels differently in these spaces. Your footsteps will feel deeper, heavier, or muffled, as though walking in a dream. Second sign, decor inconsistency. Green paint, sconces replacing modern lights. Signage from another era. Third sign, time slip. You feel like you've walked further or shorter than you actually have. If you're counting steps and they don't add up, turn back immediately. Drop a small object like a coin, If it doesn't land where you expect, you're already across the fold. If you can, leave a door open behind you, a real door, not a landing door. When that's possible, anchor yourself mentally by repeating your name and current date aloud. It sounds silly, but it forces your mind to mark itself against this space. The human side. You wrote that you're feeling dizzy even approaching the stairwell now. That's your nervous system warning you. Treat it like a tide to avoid, not a curiosity to explore. Anomalous spaces don't always pull people in. Sometimes they just scrape at the edge of your perception until you lean too far. If building management will listen, ask them to inspect the stairwell. They'll think they're looking for bad wiring, lead paint, or weak structural supports. That's fine. Even mundane renovations can disrupt thin spots. It's no accident your stairwell is in a hospital. Constant suffering, healing, life and death decisions imprint on the walls. Hospitals are cities of threshold moments. Your stairwell may have absorbed decades of it. I've walked stairwells like yours. One at Rosewood College's music building led me to a locked green room no one else could find. Another in an old library opened into a row of book stacks that hadn't existed since the 1950s. Both times, I turned back as soon as the air changed. That's how I'm still here. I also know what happens if you don't. A girl named Dana, a student at Briarwood College, spoke in her sleep about stairs that kept going. She'd wake at the bottom landing, but swear she'd gone higher than the building allowed. She covered her bathroom mirror. She stopped using the main stairwell. 2 weeks later, her roommate vanished. Dana didn't, but she still refuses to use any stairwell alone. Practical steps. Here's what you can do right now. Stop using that stairwell entirely. If you must, bring someone with you and agree on a fixed number of steps before you start. Carry a bright, solid object to leave as a marker. Keep a log of dates and times you feel this shift. Check whether the hospital had expansions, demolitions, or sealed floors. Those correlate with anomalies. And the most important rule, if you reach a landing or corridor that feels wrong, older paint, missing signage, silence like a vacuum, turn back immediately. Do not test it. Don't open unmarked doors. Treat it as you would thin ice. This was another extra, a letter about a stairwell that goes nowhere. I chose this one because not every danger has teeth or glowing eyes. Some dangers come disguised as architecture. Some just wait for you to take one step too far. If you've encountered a stairwell that seemed longer than it should be, a door that didn't open where it should, or a hallway that left you somewhere else entirely, write to me. Your letter might become the warning someone else needs. Next time, another fragment, another extra. Until then, count your steps. Trust your sense of wrongness and never assume the map matches the territory, because sometimes the territory is still being built and it may want to build you into it.